The following presentation will provide an overview of household waste, one of Australia's new public health issues. It will provide a definition of household waste, detail its journey from the household to its fate, and outline its impact as a public health priority from a social justice perspective. Using the Red Lotus model, household waste will be explored through a holistic, ecological, and salutogenic framework. Household waste, also known as residential or domestic waste, can be defined as waste that is generated through the use of a domestic premise as a result of ordinary day-to-day activity. This waste can either be taken from the premise by or on behalf of the occupier or by local government as part of a waste collection and disposal system. According to the National Waste Report in 2018, Australia as a whole generated 67 million tonnes of waste in 2016 to 2017. Of this, 13.8 million tonnes was categorised as municipal solid waste, which includes household waste and the waste generated from local government activities. This equates to roughly 560 kilograms per capita, which is roughly 9% higher than the global average. In Australia, there are two pathways for household waste: short-term storage or treatment, which both can lead to resource recovery or recycling, disposal into landfill, or long-term storage. The main way in which household waste is disposed of is through curbside collection services. However, not all Australians have access to these facilities. According to the National Waste Report in 2018, 95% of households in Australia had access to curbside garbage services, 91% had access to curbside recycling, and 42% had access to curbside organics disposal services. Furthermore, remote and rural areas have significantly less access to these services than those living in regional or metropolitan areas. The primary responsibility for the management of waste, whether it be through legislation, policy, regulation, strategy or planning, relies upon the efforts of the state and territory government. A common theme among these governments is to ensure efficiency and responsible waste disposal, as bad waste management can lead to land and air pollution, which can further lead to serious medical conditions in humans and animals.
Household waste, also referred to as domestic or residential waste, can include hazardous and non-hazardous disposable materials generated by households. Using the Red Lotus health promotion model, household waste and its underlying health component will be explained. In Australia, statistics have shown that household waste had appeared to be more commonly practiced back in the early 1990s. However, 99% of people in March 2006 had reported to have recycled or reused within that past year. Within the same year, an increase in household recycling was shown, with recycled reused glass from 55% to 90%, garden waste from 47% to 66%, and kitchen or food waste from 36% to 48%. Although statistics show an increase in recycling of household waste, there are also many individual households that choose not to. A major issue for not reusing or recycling waste in Australian households was due to the type of waste material. Between March 2005 and 2006, 52% of Australian households did not recycle or reuse kitchen or food waste, and 38% of Australians cited that the main reason being that the household did not produce enough waste to permit recycling or reusing. Household waste has many underlying determinants such as individual, behavioural and socio-economic status. Biological determinants are not categorised as a factor in relation to household waste, as factors such as gender, age and genetics are not relevant. Individual determinants of waste include cognitive decisions, limited awareness, and lack of knowledge on how to recycle and reuse. Studies have shown that waste and recycling decisions are made purely out of habit and automatic mental processes. It has seen the decision-making process of residents in relation to what stream to put household waste materials in is little to no effort. Residents rely on guesswork instead of reflective decision-making. However, 89% feel as though recycling is not at all difficult. Studies have shown that 94% of Australians still place one or more non-recyclable items in recycling bins. These include 58% failing to remove pizza from cardboard boxes, 73% not flattening egg cartons, and 36% incorrectly putting plastic bags and soft plastics in household recycling bins. Statistics have shown that 12% of Australians lack interest in recycling or reusing waste material and believed too much effort was needed. From a behavioural perspective, nowadays, it is a social norm to use plastic, seeing 3.5 million tonnes of plastic consumed in 2016 to 2017. Unavailability, inadequacy and lack of awareness in relation to waste facilities and recycling services was the most frequent nominated reason for Australian households not recycling or reusing waste, coming down to educational awareness. Environmental determinants play a major role in the amount of household waste materials that are not recycled or reused. Urban areas are more likely to have higher rates of recycling and reusing of household waste materials than that of rural areas. This is due to curbside recycling schemes being more expensive to maintain and introduce in areas with a lower density population. The location a landfill site is constructed on is very scrutinised to ensure safety to both the environment and stakeholders of the local area surrounding the landfill site. Factors that can impact the location where waste facilities are located include the following: groundwater impacts, dirty water runoff into catchment areas, green zone or protected habitual areas, flora and fauna protections, buffer distances to residential and commercial areas, stormwater management and geological setting. Due to these implications, providing access to a waste facility can sometimes be challenging and can lead to higher logistics and organisation to ensure correct management of waste can be achieved. Per annum, the economic implication Australia spends to correctly manage waste is valued at an estimated $12.6 billion. Though the initiatives of recycling and use of waste materials to generate power, $2.9 billion of this is reclaimed. Due to the lack of infrastructure and private entities in Australia available to sort and process recyclable products, Australia has exports close to 4.5 million tonnes of the waste overseas, mainly to Asian nations, which quantifies a further cost of $2.8 billion annually to do so. Economical determinants include policies and procedures implemented by the government in relation to waste management, such as the National Waste Policy, advocating towards a more circular economy. This policy's approach is to maintain the value of resources for as long as possible. The ideology of the policy is by improving waste management, more job opportunities will arise and the environment as a whole will be better protected and valuable resources will be managed more effectively.
In conclusion, household waste is a major public health problem within Australia. It has been found by analysis using the Red Lotus health promotion model that although Australian individuals believe that they are contributing to a positive change towards the issue, due to the lack of education and motivation to reuse and recycle, statistics have shown that waste is being incorrectly sorted, which provides an economic and logical burden on processing of waste material. Rural and remote areas and socio-economic status also provides its own problems due to the waste processing facilities not being financially beneficial to cater for every individual in Australia based on their location and proximity to the nearest waste processing facility.